Hello students, welcome to EasyElimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. Students, I want to believe that you are doing okay wherever you're watching from. And in this session that we are about to have, allow me take you through the language and style that we have in episode 2, that is April 1949 of the novel An Artist of the Floating World by Kazuo Ishiguro. So we have been doing an analysis of the episodes, and this is episode 2, language and style analysis. So we are going to look at some of the stylistic devices that we have in this novel. So talking about the stylistic devices, allow me start by looking at the first style, that is irony. So talking about irony, the definition of irony as a literary device is a situation in which there is a contrast between expectation and reality. So in the episode, it is ironical that Ono thinks that Mr. Kuroda has spoken to Mitsuo Saito about him, while in real sense, Mitsuo Saito is not well acquainted with Mr. Kuroda because he is not pursuing arts. So if you can remember Mitsuo Saito very well, this is the youngest son to Dr. Saito, and he is also present during the marriage negotiations. So he is a student at Uemachi College where where Mr. Kuroda is working at. That is Mr. Kuroda's workstation. So another style that we also have here, dear students, is dialogue or conversation. So under this style, we are told that Shintaro comes to play with Ono so that he receives a recommendation for his current pursuits. So this reveals the achievement of Ono in his former days. So there is also a dialogue between Ono and Noriko concerning the bamboo and the preparations for her second marriage negotiations. So again, this shows how blunt, hurt, and open Noriko is in her talk with her father. So in another instance, Ono Noriko, Dr. Saito, Mrs. Saito, Mitsuo Saito, and Taro Saito have a dialogue when they meet. This is during the marriage negotiations. So Saito talks about a variety of subjects, and Ono gets to reveal that he has had past mistakes, but he is sorry for that. And again, during this setting, young Mitsuo also avoids talking about Kuroda. So again, a number of them show their weakness with the music too. However, this conversation helps the group to create friendship. So all that is in the second episode of An Artist of the Floating World. So another illustration is that Ono also talks to Mrs. Kawakami, that is the bar owner, when they are discussing why Hirayama was beaten and the nature of Shintaro. So they also observe the current situation of that is ancient artists and the violent nature of the current generation. They hope that soon the artists will come together again. So all those are instances of dialogues that we have in the novel. So another style that we also come across in this episode, dear students, is sarcasm. So remember that sarcasm is simply the use of irony to mock or convey contempt. So talking about sarcasm in episode 2 of An Artist of the Floating World, Enchi addresses Ono sarcastically when he visits Kuroda and indicates that it is Ono who is not informed of details and that the real traitors are known. So this is shortly after he learns that Ono is not the visitor he expected. So again, most times Noriko talks to her father Ono sarcastically. So she, for example, says he is an authority in art, and has cut the bamboo tree in a way that is not questionable, yet she is annoyed of what the father has done. So again, she puts statements like, I'm sure father knows best about such things. That's beyond dispute, no doubt, etc., etc. So whenever she uses such statements, she uses them sarcastically. And again, there is also imagery in this episode. So under imagery, we are going to start by looking at simile. So remember that imagery is a literary device used in any literary piece of work that uses vivid description that appeals to a reader's senses to create an image or idea in their head. So talking about the first style under imagery, that is simile. Remember, this is a comparison of two things using the words like or as. So Ono says that Dr. Saito was watching him rather like a teacher waiting for a pupil to go on with a lesson he has learned by heart. So another example is that Taro says the Japanese have been shown to be like children. And again, Dr. Saito says Japan is like a young boy learning to walk and run. So another style under imagery that we are also going to talk about is a vivid description, which involves the use of a visually descriptive language. So under this style, Ono describes that Kuroda did not live in a good quarter, and the alleys around his residence are little and dilapidates with lodging houses. So then there is a concrete square resembling the forecourt of a factory, and there are trucks parked around that place. Ono also describes Kuroda's apartment as small, without an entryway, with its tatami starting a little way inside the front door, with only a shallow step up. So there was a tidy look to the place too, with a number of paintings and walls adorning that is a number of paintings, adorning the walls. So the narrator, that is Masuji Ono, uses a language that is visually descriptive to help the readers get, a mental picture of the setting of the place being described. So we also have another style that is foreshadow. So foreshadow is a literary device used to give an indication or hint of what is to come later in the story. So Ono thinks Noriko will be nervous in her meeting with the Saitos, and indeed she is quite tensed throughout that meeting. So when he thinks that Noriko will be nervous in her meeting, he is giving an indication or a hint of what will happen when they, meet for the marriage negotiations. And later on, that is after they are now seated, when the two families have now met. Indeed, Noriko becomes quite tensed throughout the meeting. So Enchi also predicts that Kuroda would not want anything to do with Ono. And even when Ono insists to write and seek reconciliation, his response is short, offensive, and cold. So exactly as Enchi had predicted earlier on. Remember, he said that Mr. Kuroda would not be pleased to see him, and he would not want anything to do with him. And that is confirmed when Kuroda, uh, you know, becomes cold and also avoids Masuji Ono. So, dear students, that marks the end of this session. Once again, thanks for staying tuned till the end, and I look forward to having you in more episodes to come. Until next time, bye.